Greetings, friends, and welcome to episode 1 of a new segment that I'm going to try to keep up with this year, being 2019. First of all, Happy New Year to everybody. It is January 1st. It is exactly 6:30 in the evening here in Canada. And I figured since I had some time today, I was going to start a new sort of segment. Hopefully throughout the year I'll be able to do this. I don't know how often I'll be doing it. It won't be a weekly thing because I am pretty busy throughout the year making albums, and it does eat up into a lot of time, especially when I'm also releasing them and so on and so forth on vinyl and CD and other things. But I wanted to go through some of my albums from my collection and go through some different variations of the records that I have. I know a lot of people have been asking me to show some of my albums and what I have, and I'm not going to turn this into a huge 45-minute video. I'm going to go through them relatively quickly. Most of you probably are familiar with some of these albums and know the background on them. I'm just going to mainly show what I have, what different countries, and maybe what some of the differences are within them. Okay, so the album I'm going to be doing today, as you probably saw in the title, is Kiss Love Gun. I didn't want to start with something more common like Destroyer or something like that, something that's maybe not shown as often. Love Gun is still a popular record, but maybe not as often shown as, let's say, Rock and Roll Over or Destroyer, or even maybe some other albums like Dynasty or something. Okay, so I'm gonna go show you the ones that I have. I believe I have 7. I'm not 100% sure if that's right. Maybe 8. We'll see. I'll go through them. So let's start with the most common one that you can probably get anywhere now, which is the 2014 reissue of Love Gun. I will take this out to prevent some glare. This is the 2014 copy. It's brand spanking new, as you can see. The way you can tell, of course, right on my finger is there's Mercury Records and the UMP label there. That's for Universal Music. This is a faithful recreation of the original, which means that you get the inner sleeve like the original, and that also means that you get probably the thing that's the most difficult thing to get on the other copies that I have, which is the gun. Now, this is of course difficult to get in the other ones because when most people bought their records back in the day, this was a pretty rare thing that bands would do, is to put in some kind of prop or extra little toy or prize in the record. So when they got them, obviously people would take them out and set them up and make them and use them. So it'd be hard to find an original one like that in great form. This is the vinyl. It's in my sheet there. As you can see, it has the Filmworks label and the guys in full makeup and costume there on there, just like it did in the original pressing. So that's the US 2014 reissue. Next up, I have this copy here, which is a sort of interesting one. According to the Kiss My Wax book, they don't have this one listed in there, which means that he maybe didn't have a copy of this one, or maybe they forgot about it. Now this looks just the same as every other copy, but it really isn't. This is a Canadian copy. Now, if you look at the bottom here, right there, that's a polygram sticker, and that is telling you basically that it's transitioning from one number to another. It says reorder as NBLP 7057, which means that it is probably going from another catalog number. So this is basically just a transitional copy due to this little label here. And you have here the vinyl, which if you notice, there is no sign of the guys on there. It's just a straight Filmworks label without the 4 guys on it. So that's what is known, I guess, in most circles as a transitional copy. Okay, next up, we have a copy that is very interesting, one that I'm very happy that I've acquired. This is a first pressing Canadian version. In the shrink still, it's cut, of course, here, but the original shrink is still here. And it even has its original price tag for a whopping $2.97. There's the back. You can see at the bottom it says Quality Records. That's the label that it came out in Canada. The great thing about this version is while I don't have the gun, I have the original sleeve. And something else that is sometimes difficult to find on these pressings or on these variations. Oh, come on, get in there. There you go. And that is a merchandise form that came with these records. As you can see, somebody decided, I guess at one point, to consider maybe getting something. They did fill in this side a bit, as you can see there. It doesn't really matter to me. I'm glad I have this, of course. It's a nice piece to have in the collection, but mainly I'm a guy who's all about the music and wants to listen to the music part of it, so I don't really care if those things are there or not. I mean, as far as if it's written or not. So anyways, here's the original album. Just get a good hold of this so I don't drop it like a fool. Okay, there we go. You can see there at the bottom it says Quality Records, and it has the guys there as well. Okay, so that's that. Next up, we have another interesting pressing, I believe. That's a little bit more of a hurt and condition one, as you can tell. This is a US pressing. It has a little price tag here of a whole $3, as you can see right there. And what's the difference between this one and the other ones? Well, this is a US one, and not only is it a US one, but as you can see at the bottom, this is an RCA Record Club pressing of this record. This one just came with the original inner sleeve. It didn't come with the gun or anything like that. But the vinyl itself is interesting in that it has the same sort of label, but if you look by Ace's feet there, it has the RCA Records Club indication there. This one sounds surprisingly good, actually. It's one of the ones I listen to not often, but quite a bit. The US pressing sounds really good, and the Canadian first copy sounds really nice. Surprisingly, it's not as beat up as you would probably think for a record that's near 70, that's near 40 years old. Okay, next, it's this copy, which is a straight up US first pressing, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. This is a US first pressing. It is a cut corner, as you can see right here. It is not a promo. Sometimes a cut corner means that. I think this just means it's at the end of the line as far as this pressing run was concerned. This has the sleeve with it. And I don't believe there's anything else in here with it. No gun, no nothing else, of course. And here is the vinyl. This vinyl is actually in pretty nice shape. As the guys on there, this is all the proper information on there. This is also one that was mastered at Sterling Sound, most likely by Robert Ludwig at the time. It sounds very good, very punchy. Nice pressing of this one. Now we're going to get to some not so common ones, maybe. This is a Japanese pressing, and this one is known as the extra wide obi version. If you look at the obi here, this little part here, this white section here, is an extra part that got added in after the original Japanese pressing didn't have that part of the obi. It just had this other part here, and not that part. So this is a different variation of this release. I'm not going to pull this out because it's all in a nice, really tight shrink wrap. It has the guys on there, and at the bottom, if you look, it does say it's from Victor Records. This just has the booklet inside there. You know what? I'll just take the booklet out and show you guys. I'll tack on a few minutes extra on here, but what the hey. Let's see. Also, a good thing to make note of, maybe it's a good thing I did take this out. Here's the Obi. This is a gatefold, which is not common with the other variations of the record. And inside here is the rather interesting booklet. If I can get this out. There you go. All these Japanese pressings usually come with these sort of variations. This one is not in the best shape. I'm not sure if this is an extra page. Maybe you Kiss collectors can tell me if this was something that was supposed to be part of the booklet that fell out, or I'm not sure, because the rest of this booklet is also in sort of rough shape. Not the best. It has just the lyrics and stuff like that inside there. So there you go. That is the Japanese variation of this record. Next up, we have here, which is the pressing from France. As you can see in the top corner there is the different number at the top corner. This just has straight Filmworks labels to them. It doesn't have anything else of any significance inside there. The album cover itself is not the strongest material for some reason, which is interesting because a lot of my other pressings from France have some pretty decent cardboard for their album covers. Okay, now we're on to another variation here, which is my West German pressing. And for some reason, this one is also not in the Kiss My Wax vinyl book. It has 3 German variations, and all of them say that they have the regular logo, but this is clearly not a regular logo. This is a, I forget what they call this one now. The logo for the changed logo. They didn't like the SS's back then, so they changed it. The censored logo. There we go. There's the vinyl. Very nice. It's in excellent condition, and it sounds good. And a lot of the times, I've said this maybe before on some of my other videos, but I really like German pressings of records. They sound really good. They really take a lot of attention to detail when they make their records, and they sound great. So here's just the back. You can see there's the phonogram label at the bottom, which is their distributor in Germany. And again, there's that censored logo. So that's West Germany. And last but not least is my UK pressing of Love Gun. You can see there's a little bit of a difference there, the Casablanca in the top corner there. And I'll take this one out because there is some interesting differences between the regular pressing and this one. Now, I don't believe this is the Priceless series. I don't think. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm incorrect on that. But on the back here, it says nothing about the Priceless series. It just shows in the top corner there. You see where it says right there. And of course, I'm not showing it properly now. Anyway, you'll see in the top corner where my head is there. In the top, it says price 69. That is the code for it. You also see that there's phonogram down here as well. That is the distributor. This has a totally different inner sleeve to it, because that's why I'm saying I'm not sure if it is, because this has a Priceless inner sleeve with it, but as you can see, it only shows Destroyer and Dynasty on here. I'm not sure if Love Gun was ever a proper Priceless collection release. For a second there, it felt like I would hit something in there. No, there's nothing else in there. For a second I thought it might have had a gun in there. That would have been odd. I don't believe a gun came with that version. And anyways, here is the vinyl. It's in fantastic shape as well. Doesn't have the guys on it either, but you can see it has the price 69 code there. And this one sounds really good too. Not as punchy, I find, as the US first pressing, and maybe not as good of a soundstage as the German one. The German one sounds really good that way. The separation is really nice on that. Okay, so try to keep this under 20 minutes, which I have done mercifully. And that's my look at Love Gun. I will be not only focusing on Kiss records, so if you're worried about that, don't, because I have a lot of Genesis, Beatles, Black Sabbath, what else? Yes albums, lots of different, so I have lots of different things to go through. King Crimson, Gentle Giant, we have lots of different things we can look at different variations. So it's not just going to be Kiss, but Kiss will be there as well, and Rush too. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys all had a great new year, and here's to 2019. Let's hope it'll be a good year. So until then, goodbye my friends, and we'll talk again soon.